All right, we are trying it out. It's me, it's Tammy, it's the Siberian Wind. We are trying out a new microphone tonight. So if for any reason you can't hear me, please let me know. I know I started that with no audio, but you know, if you don't have a technical difficulty once you hit go live, then what are you hitting go live for? I see Donnell join the chat, Melissa and Tessa. Thank you ladies for being here. I appreciate it. I am so not used to going this live this early. I'm a little out of sorts. Hi Melissa. Glad you said hi again. Thank you. So I have I sound is good. Yay. All right, so my microphone is over here and I will be turning that way at some point. So we're going to see if that stays true. So if for any reason you cannot hear me tonight, let me know so I can adjust everything. Because if you can't hear me, that doesn't help you any. So if you guys have caught my little tidbits, I put up a little post in the community chat earlier today. I have been working. I have definitely been working. Hi, it's Kennedy. Glad to see you here. Thank you. I am going to make one adjustment real quick, you guys. I am going to turn my fan on and get it going because it is a little stuffy in here and it's getting a little bit hotter every minute. So we're going to turn the fan on and we're going to turn it up just a hair. So it should not affect the mic. But again, like I said, if you guys have any problems hearing me at any time, let me know. So if you have not seen me working on the, I don't know if that helps or not. You know, let me take this down so you guys can see it. If you guys have not seen the prismatic star that I've been working on, this is 1/4 of the prismatic star. So it is starting to come together. And I've got this black grunge on the outside. So it's playing real well and real nice with all the colors. So, yep, I got 1/4 of it done. I have got a ton more to go. So I told you guys I'd show you when I got more progress in, and I finally have more progress in. And that's what I have ripped 3 times today. There was one section that I kept putting it together. Oh, thank you, Tessa. Appreciate it. I am actually quite shocked. I mean, I was not expecting it to come out so pretty, but it is definitely a lot prettier than I was expecting it to be. So as of right now, we've got the window shining in to really put some light on it. But it is that black grunge on the outside, and then it's a white batik. And I was putting 2 of the diamonds together earlier today, and I literally had to rip it 4 times, and then I had to rip another one another couple of times. So that is what I've been working on, or project 1 that I've been working on. The other project I've been working on, I'm going to swap you guys over real quick. Let me see if this is going to work the way that it's supposed to. There we go. And let's transition over. All right, so I have I'm going to try to make you guys not be dizzy. Let me zoom out just a little bit. So I have a bucket, literally, where I have been putting all of my Elizabeth Hartman pieces in. So these are all flying geese, or they are the super micro miniature half square triangles. So this one is going to be, this one has gray with little white dots against the white. You know, there's half square triangles of all colors in here. Hi, guess who, Nancy? Glad you're here. Thank you. I'm showing what I have accomplished on my Elizabeth Hartman real quick, and then I'll be swapping back over to my main camera here in just a second. So on the Elizabeth Hartman pattern, there are 9 different colorways, and each of the 9 colorways has 6 fabrics. So I literally had to make flying geese for all of the colorways. So I think I counted at one point 380 something seams, or it was 288 times 2. Don't quote me. I don't know. I've lost count as to which direction I went. So I do have the large ones. So my seams will get pressed open. So I will be batch pressing. So you see my first seam is pressed open. So that's what will happen to my second seam. But I am literally at that point with all of the flying geese in here, both the large ones and the small ones. They're all at that point of pressing that second wing unit up and pressing it open. I do have a few squares left over that I shouldn't have left over. So I do have a couple to go back and fix that I didn't cut enough pieces for. But when you do these smaller flying geese, you do still have a little bit of room to make a half square triangle. I'm glad you're back, Donnell. Thank you. So I'm going to be making half square triangles out of these. And if I'm not mistaken, these are coming out 1.25 inches before I square up. So these would come out if I don't have a whole lot of squaring to do, and I'm going to try to avoid. It is a lot of pieces, Tessa. You're right. Hi, Laura. You're not late yet. I promise. I'm still on. And there's always a replay. So you're good. So yeah, I love this little black print. I'm hoping there we go. So I love this camera because it's working so well for this. But yeah, I've got all these half square triangles and the flying geese to get pressed. So I'm going to swap you guys back over real quick. And for those of you just joining, I don't know, Donnell, if you saw it, and guess who, Nancy and Laura, the piece on the wall is the prismatic star. It is 1/4 of it. So it is pieced, and it is one piece. So this entire quarter of the quilt is done, and I spent a lot of time. Oh, hang on, you know what? Okay, technology. Gotta love technology, right? So this is the prismatic star, and it is 1/4 of it. That is complete. It is a pieced top for the 1/4. So I have 3 more of these to make before I will have a complete quilt top. And this is the one my husband wants me to enter in shows. So you guys will probably get to go along with me on the journey to quilt it as well. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I have 3 more pieces of top to do before I have to figure it out. Oh, your dad needed you to go get him something? Oh, yeah. You know, those errands always take longer. My husband wanted me to go take the dog out, and granted, it's my dog. And granted, I should want to take him out, but I really just didn't want to. It's 23 degrees out. It's actually the warmest it's been all day. It was 14 earlier. And so in order to take him out, I've got to do the snow. I've got to do the boots because I've got to walk in the snow. I've got to do the ski pants. Got to do the coat. And this kind of weather, I'm putting the dog in a coat because in case the wind picks up, not taking a chance. So yeah, it's like getting the kids ready for school kind of thing to go take him out. So it was 15 minutes till time to go live, and I was like, I go live in 15 minutes. He can wait. No, he can't. So my husband is taking him. Awesome. You posted a second video last night that turned out you had no audio. Oh no. I love my editing software because it lets me just go in and add it on. Tessa, where are you that it's 71? I'm not jealous. I'm just asking where. It is definitely not 71 here. It is 66 in my studio. So therefore I am in long sleeves. I am the hot weather person. Like I am always hot no matter what. So I am usually the one in short sleeves, and I would be today, but I've spent all day in a sweatshirt, so I'm kind of used to it for today. So tomorrow I'll probably be back in short sleeves, except for when I got to go out. Oh, you're in Georgia. Okay. Well, Tessa, I moved from Alabama. I moved last May from between Birmingham and Montgomery, Alabama. Oh, 73 in Western Kentucky. Oh, wow. So it's warmer in Kentucky than it is in Georgia. That says a lot. You're fortunate, live in Gilbert, Arizona. Ooh, yeah. I can imagine. It's been overcast here. But it's actually blue skies now. We've got blue skies and clouds. I have loved, since we moved here, one of the biggest things that I love about Wyoming is you can get somewhere and then you see for miles. Like literally, when the visibility thing says you can see for 10 miles and you're like, yeah, if there wasn't stuff in the way. Well, here, the visibility might say 10 or 20 miles. And literally you can find places where you can see that far. And that is, it shocks me. It amazes me. I lived on the coast, the Mississippi Gulf Coast for a little bit. And I remember going out to the beach and you could see for a while. And then if you went to certain places, if you got up a little bit off the coastline, you could really see out. But there's nothing to look at. It is literally just water. So it wasn't as exciting as it is here. Mother Nature does not. Got a record high of 74 and sunshine today. Tomorrow's going to be 60 degree drop in temp with snow. We're going to be in the 30s tomorrow. Guess who, Nancy? Awesome. Well, I might be in the 30s. No. I don't think it's supposed to get above freezing until Friday or Saturday. Don't quote me. My husband's the weather guy. I have learned just to not even bother. As long as I'm dressed for today or however long I'm going to be out, I'm good. If it is under 80 degrees, I'm wearing jeans and a sweatshirt. I can't handle the cold. Laura, I can't handle the heat. If it is 70 degrees or up in my office, in my studio here, I am sweltering. I'm literally opening windows, blowing fans like crazy. Yeah, I've got to do it all. I cannot handle the heat. So I'm going to show you guys. Well, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to show you guys what I've got going on real quick with the Elizabeth Hartman, where my next step is once I get that big old bucket of flying geese pressed. So I'm going to show you what I've got so far. So let me make sure that this pulls up. And I'm going to move that out of the way because you guys aren't seeing that just yet. We are going to break early. We're not going to go all the way through to 5 p.m. my time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time. There is a birthday bash over at, you were born and raised in the Midwest, but can't take that kind of cold anymore. Yeah, I understand. I mean, not everybody can. It is definitely my thing, though. So I just put a link in the chat. After we break here, if you are still up for hanging out and, being on YouTube or whatever, go support a friend of mine over at Slay Arts. Her name is Shannon. She's doing an awesome job. Oh, you're fine. You're ordering your Juki. Okay. You're allowed to be late, but you're not allowed to be late for that reason. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Glad you're here. Congratulations. That's exciting, getting a new machine. I have kind of thought about what I would do if I did get a Juki, but I'm not quite sure because my Bernina does everything I need it to do. So I'm not sure if I would use it or how much I would use it, but it would be more mechanical than either of my Berninas, so I could haul it places and not be as worried if something broke because it's 100% mechanical. So I have thought about a Juki for that reason. But congratulations, Glenda. That is awesome. Do you know when it's going to be here? So while I'm waiting on that, the link that I put in, I will put it again before we break today. So like I'm going to go about 50 minutes, maybe 55. So you guys will have like a 5-10 minute break before Shannon's live starts. She has promised some giveaways. I do not know what. I am not that inside of a friend yet. We are working on it. Gotta get the inside scoop. But she reached 1,000 subscribers, and her birthday is today. So if you do happen to go over there, at least comment happy birthday, even if you can't stay for the whole thing. Help her celebrate her birthday today. I know she's super excited about it, so I told her I'd send everybody over. And that's kind of also why we moved up versus moving back. Next week, I will be back at my normal time, so we will start at 5 p.m. Mountain Time next week. So, about the time we're ending is when we're going to start next week. We're going to be back at that. I agree, Laura. It is always exciting to get a new machine. So next week, we also have a special guest. I don't know if any of you caught this. I don't remember who all caught this past Saturday. I was bored and wanted to get some sewing done, so I am going to start doing more regularly some of these Get Stuff Done webcasts or lives or whatever. My microphone died at 3 hours in, so that is why we are on a new microphone tonight. And again, for anybody who's still joining, if you cannot hear me, if you have trouble hearing me, please put it in the chat. Let me know. Even if I don't see it immediately, I am closely trying to monitor the chat because I don't want anybody to go without being able to hear me. I don't feel that that's fair. If you guys are watching a video and you want to hear the audio, you should be able to hear the audio. It shouldn't be a problem. So, I had just lost my place. Goodness. Ooh, 7 days to get there. Borrowed money. I might have to do that too. We're sisters. We're in the same boat. I would have to do that too. So we're going to join Shannon's live after this. If you want to go join her live, again, I'll put the link back in the chat, closer to time, so you guys can join her. I know she is planning to start on time, or, she should be starting on time. Hi, Laura. Glad you're here. Thank you. So let me show you guys real quick what I am going to be doing with the flying geese parts and pieces that I was showing earlier once I get all of them pressed. And that is going to take a good minute. It's definitely going to take a good minute. I'm going to transition over. Oh, that is a deal. I don't disagree with you. Guess who, Nancy? That is awesome. And again, I'm not facing the... Oops. Oh, Nancy, put too many emojis in there. Give it just a minute and Lightbox should let you back in. All right, so this is my pieces and parts to my current next block. And I am so sorry that this light is so yellow. I've got to figure out why this camera is doing that. So each of these blocks, each of these Elizabeth Hartman blocks has 2 of each of the stars. So there's 2 of that star. And then here is this star. And there's its duplicate. And then here is that star. And that duplicate. And then that star. And its duplicate. I promise I am trying to stay in the camera range, so definitely let me know if you cannot hear me as well. So one of the things that this pattern does is, let's see if I can get it to where you guys can see it. So the fabric on the points of each star are the fabrics in the center of its pair. So the fabric in the center of this top star is the fabric at the point of this other star. And so the fabric at the points of this top star is the fabric in the center of this other star. So these do go together. And this is just one of 9 colors. So there are a total of 9 of these. And because I'm doing double, because I'm crazy, That is just what it is. So, oh, sorry. Pardon my reach, having to reach in front. So you're going to have a center, there we go, okay, a center piece, and you're going to have flying geese on either side, okay? And of course, this is not exactly where this goes. It is definitely in quite a bit from where it will end up being. I'm not super worried about that. All right, and then you're going to have, oops, okay. So this is, I'm going to slide this up out of the way, and we're going to kind of do part of it at a time. So I'm going to be attaching this flying goose unit to one of the stars. So these two pieces basically become a unit. So that is its own unit. And then to the side of that, let me find the stars I'm going to be using. So each side of each of these units is going to have a strip on the outside and a strip on the outside. And that's what gives it its positioning in the quilt. I'm still learning backwards from my normal vision, so I apologize. So I will be making each of these small stars. Then I will be making these units where there's a star plus the two pieces, and there's 4 of these total. So there will be 2 with this star, these fabrics, and 2 with the alternate fabrics. So that will be going together as well. And then you will have 2 of the other stars. So you'll have a total of 8 stars total. So you'll have 2 of the other stars that go with a flying goose unit that go that way. And then you will have the others that will go the opposite way. So what I'm going to try to get done, the name of this quilt is the Star Systems pattern, or Star Systems by Elizabeth Hartman. It is an Elizabeth Hartman pattern. Oh, let me see. There we go. Okay. So it is very detailed on the cutting instructions. And one thing she did point out specifically is your assembly instructions for putting the flying geese units on. You do have to press them open. So, for example, she gives specific directions on how to make those, but she also gives how to sew diagonal seams. And in the diagonal seams example that she is giving, oh, hang on, there we go. The diagonal seams directions she is giving, she does specifically say to press the seams open so the piece looks like that. I mean, that is not a piece in the quilt unless we're doing the borders on the star system. So for example, the star system right here, you can see that there's pieces that are covering on the white, snowballing the corners. So if you're talking about that, then yes. But I did it on all the flying geese as well. So all of my flying geese are going to be pressed open. So this Elizabeth Hartman pattern, she does have instructions for selecting your fabrics. You can use pre-cuts. You can use layer cakes. Hi, Joyce. How is the weather? I know it's 22 here. So this pattern does have 9 star systems in it. So there's 8 outer stars and then the center star unit. And because this quilt is not going to be as big as I want, the batting for this quilt would only be 84 by 84, which is still a fairly large quilt. But you know me, I've got to be difficult. So I am doing double of what the pattern calls for. So my finished quilt will not look identical to this. My center may look identical. So I may do everything like this here, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding extra star systems around the outside. But I have not decided exactly how I'm doing that yet. So I get to play with it on the design wall when I get done. So I'm going to bring you guys back over. That way I can say, oh, hi, Charlotte. Promise I didn't try to miss you. Got home from the library quilt group. Awesome. Did you get a whole lot done? Oh, you know what? I have an extra button to push because of the new, extra skins. So I apologize. I will get the hang of this. I promise I will. So Joyce and guess who, Nancy? I don't know if you saw this. Charlotte. And I don't know if you saw it, Laura. This is the prismatic star. That is 1/4 of the quilt. Cold 23 and snowing. I am not surprised. Yeah, we just got over the snow, so I'm not surprised you're still getting it. So this is 1/4 of the prismatic star. So I was putting them together this morning, and that's all I've worked on today. So all those flying geese, that's all been this past weekend. 19 here, but the sun is still shining. I've got that it's 22, so I guess you're a little bit closer to the mountain. So in case you guys did not see it, here is another quilt satisfaction moment where you guys get to see it. And so this white border really came out really well. And so all 4 quarters are going to look like this. And I have definitely got a lot of work ahead to get it. Thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is what I've ripped 3 times today. And it's not because, you know what, let me show you guys. It's not because I don't know how to sew. I promise. Thank you, Joyce. Yeah, it is not because I don't know how to sew. So what has happened when I was trying to assemble the pieces? So let me see if I can figure out directional so you guys can see it the same direction I'm thinking to look at it. Thank you, Glenda. Appreciate it. Awesome. So when you're looking at these diamonds, so this diamond went to the black, so to the background. This diamond had to attach to this diamond before it attached to anything else. So when you're looking at it, once it's quilted, I want it to have a straight line between this diamond to this diamond. So you're going to see this white background. I mean, you're going to see the white border. That's not what I was worried about. The white border was not coming out right either, but that was just me. And that was just me being sloppy with it. But I wanted if I put this in a show, I want the quilt judges to look at it. And if they take a ruler, I want them to have that straight line between this piece to that piece. So I want them to follow that and have that going. And then we also have the problem of, so this piece to this piece was already joined, but then I've got to add that piece on. And so I wanted the straight line there as well, so that when the judges are looking at it, they don't really have that much to say to me, because I'd rather them look at the quilting. I've got a lot to do to get it right. So what I did, and this is my little hack, and I mean, if you guys see, I don't know how well it shows up on camera, but I've got loose threads, so I'll have stuff to pick off in a little bit, especially once I get all 4 quarters done. So I'm not going to have my seams right here line up. So these are in the border pieces, but I'm hoping that they won't be paying attention to that, and they'll just be paying attention to the straight line here. So that is what I was aiming for. So what I did after my 3rd attempt at ripping, because I did have to rip it 3 times, and this white is a batik. So there are still holes. Let's see if it'll show. Maybe it still won't show up on camera, but I sure can see it. So there's like holes right through there from where I previously had stitching. So what I ended up doing is I took and pressed under 1/4 of an inch on the piece that was going to be, the seam was going to be pressed towards. And then I went and pinned it from the top side where I could see it. And I took a ruler and lined it up. Like I laid it down, lined up the line that I wanted to follow, and then like kept playing with it until it was exactly where I wanted it, pinned it in place, and then I flipped it to the back side where the seam was pinned, and then I pinned the rest of the seam allowance, and then came back out and took out my pins that I couldn't sew, that were pinned from the front through like 3 layers of fabric. So there are ways to do it. So if you ever run into problems trying to line something up, there is going to be another way to do it. It's just whether or not you feel like you have the patience to do that. I am so excited about that center though. Between these two, that could not be more clear. I mean, again, this border in here, I'm really not digging all the seams, but that's the way it was written. So I'm not happy about all the seams being in there the way that they are. But I didn't write the pattern, and I was following somebody else's instructions, so it doesn't come out the way I would have envisioned it in my mind. But I ended up doing the same thing on the next set. So again, I lined the ruler up to line it up, and I lined the ruler up and pinned through 3 layers to line this up, so that way everything would be lined up the way I want it. So let's go back over. So that is an entire morning's worth of work. That took all morning. I did not get, like I got in here with like a handheld breakfast and like not sitting down to eat breakfast, just grabbing what I could, and got in here and started working. And I wasn't even sure if this is what I was going to work on today, but I had to get something done. I knew I had to. I needed it for my mental health. So I kept running into problems and kept going, well, I guess I could quit for the day. And then I'm like, but then people won't see, a quarter of the quilt, and I want a quarter of the quilt done. Once I got an eighth of it done, I was like, oh, well, I can do this. That's not a problem. Only had 3 more seams to rip as I went. But, that is part of what quilting is all about, is taking your time and being proud of what you've done. Even if these were not lined up the way I wanted, if I was proud of them, that's all that matters. I know what my intention for this quilt is, and I do want it to go into a show because that's what my husband's asked of me. He's asked me to put it in a show because he's really proud of what I do. So I'm not upset that he's wanting me to put it in a show, but it definitely makes me think, okay, well, if it's going in a show, then maybe I need to do this to do it. And it's not that I couldn't do other quilts and get them ready in time for the shows this summer, but this is the one that he wanted me to do. So I'm doing it some for him, but I'm also doing it as a challenge to myself because it's definitely out of my comfort zone. Usually I make a quilt, and if it's perfect enough, or if I'm happy with it enough and think it will pass at the quilt show, then I'm fine. Let's go ahead and enter it. This is the first one that I've done, I think ever, that I have planned to put it in a show. And so there's definitely a different mentality when you go into doing your quilt with that in mind. So that has been like forefront on my mind. I would have been happy and just left it with, where it was and not gone, well, I need to fix that if it wasn't going into the show. So it is definitely a different mindset. And that was kind of the challenge with this quilt. It's very easy to put together. Believe it or not, it is very easy to put together. The diamonds were super simple. A lot of mindless sewing. Didn't have to do a lot of thinking with it. It was paper piecing. It was all from a jelly roll, so I didn't have a lot of extra cutting. I mean, it was easy. But this is the part that makes it really pop and come out and show what you're trying to do. And I'm very proud of myself for that. Hi, Andrea. Yes, absolutely. Better late than never. And anything that you missed, you can get on the replay. So no, never worry about that. I always do make sure they are up for replay. And I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I am sorry for this, you guys. But if for any reason you cannot hear me, my microphone died on my live on Saturday, where I had Donnell from Donnell Stitchery, and I had Leanna from Pastry Queens Farm Adventures. I believe that's, somebody can correct me if I got that slightly wrong, but I know it's Pastry Queen. So I had both of them on with me, just having a good time, chatting while we sewed, getting stuff done. That's the name of my impromptu lives. You'll never know when I'm going to go live. I'm just going to go, well, hey, I might go live. I might put that in the community chat. But if I don't, if you see me go live and it says get stuff done, you know that I'm just hopping on because I need to sew and I would love to show you guys. Awesome. So captions are working. Yay. I do try to make sure that they are working. So as long as I'm copying the information from the previous, it's working. When I did my get stuff done, the captions were working, and that's the only way people could understand me after my mic went out. So I don't know what YouTube picked up, but YouTube somehow still got my back with that. But my mic did go out. I did get another microphone. I'm not sure how much background noise it's going to pick up. So I don't know whether if I run my machine, it's going to blast everybody's ears with the new microphone. I just don't know yet. So you guys may have to bear with me on that. Glenda's saying hi to everyone in the chat. And I don't disagree with her there. I want to say hello as well. And we are at 17 viewers. I am amazed. Thank you guys. We are going to be breaking here about 4:50, 4:55 my time. So that's in about 13 to 18 minutes, something like that. I'm going to send you guys over if you want to go catch Shannon at Slay Arts. She is another quilter. She is a Legit Kit instructor. If you've not heard of Legit Kits, there is a free Legit Kit pattern that is available on their website. If you go to Google and just type free Legit Kits, and it's LEGIT KITS. Legit Kits has a lot of they are modern. They are like a picture of a lion or a picture of a whale or a dolphin. I'm not sure which. There's a Labrador Retriever on there. I would love to do, so if somebody ever wants to gift it to me, especially if you gift me the whole kit so I don't have to go buy fabric. But I'm not expecting anybody to. The kits with the fabric are expensive, but you can do them with your own fabric. But they are paper piecing, but they are beautiful quilts. So if you do have a penchant for paper piecing, or if you've ever wanted to give Legit Kits a try, there's a free website there's a free pattern on their website. They are going to start charging for that pattern is what I'm hearing. So if we want to call it scuttlebutt for the gossip, there is some scuttlebutt going around that Legit Kits is going to start charging for that free pattern. So if you want to go download it, if it is still there, it's still free, go ahead and download it now. That way you can kind of give Legit Kits a try before you buy. But Shannon is a Legit Kits instructor. She's an awesome lady. She's having a birthday bash. Today's her birthday, so at least say happy birthday to her. And she is doing a giveaway today as well. She did hit 1,000 subscribers, so that's a huge milestone. It's really hard to think about having 1,000 subscribers. So it's kind of amazing that she has that many subscribers. So we are going to break so she can have that time as well. And so that way everybody can go participate in her stuff in addition to mine. So I'm going to swap you guys over real quick. I'm going to show you guys what we are working on next week. So Donnell, if you are still in the chat, make sure you say hi. Donnell is going to be joining us next week for the live. So let me move this stuff out of the way first. Get it completely out of my way so I don't accidentally pick up stuff I don't need. Because you know me, I will do that. And we are going to bring you guys back over and I'm going to show you. If you've not heard yet, next week we are going to color on fabric. So this is a piece of cotton. This is just quilting cotton. And just shared my channel. Thank you, Joyce. I appreciate that. Awesome, Charlotte. Thank you. Thank you for the vote of confidence. I appreciate it. All right. So this is coloring on fabric. This is literally just a printed design on the fabric. And this little VW bug, I don't know how well you can see him, so I do apologize. My screen is super tiny. So I've got a quilt shop bag, and I've got rolls of fabric, and I've got bags, and I don't know what this is, but it looked fun and festive. And my color is purple, so of course I had to color my VW bug as a purple. All right, so we are going to color on fabric next week. So if you guys want to get the supplies, I am going to go over those real quick. So first and foremost is you will need some quilting cotton. You can choose whatever color you want. The lighter colors tend to pop better because you're not having to like kind of strain your eyes to see them. So this one is done on a light pink, and the one that I'm going to be working on in 1 week, this is a cream, and it has like a tone on tone. It's got some white print on it, but it's very, very subtle. So like from the camera, you can't even see the print. So you will need some quilting cotton. You will also need some freezer paper. Now you can possibly get some freezer paper pre-print or pre-sheets, pre-cut sheets or whatever. I believe that there are some freezer paper sheets that you can put through your printer, but you can do it with your good old, big, gigantic roll of freezer paper. So this is the only one that my local store had in stock, was the Reynolds brand. And so you will have on your freezer paper, if I can get it out, if you've never handled freezer paper, there are two sides to it. You will have a flat side, and that is typically on the outside of the roll. And then you will have a shiny side. So I'm sure you guys can see the reflection off this freezer paper. It is definitely a waxy substance. So you've got two sides to your freezer paper. You have the wrong side, and then you have the right side. So this is the right side. This is the side that we're going to use. So there's two ways to get your design onto your fabric. So what has been done with this one, somebody else did this one for me, but what has been done is they took the freezer paper and they cut it to size to fit their printer. So I believe this is, it looks like it's almost 11 inches one way, and it's just over 8 the other way, so it's just shy of 8.5 by 11. So, this is like, the size of a typical sheet of paper. So what they have done is they went ahead and attached the fabric to the freezer paper, and I'll explain how you do that in just a moment. And then they put this through the printer and they printed on it. Now they are using an inkjet printer. If you are not using an inkjet printer, like a laser printer or possibly even a copier, I don't know if a copier can handle this or not, but I don't know whether or not a copier paper's ink will set properly, and laser will not do. You cannot print onto fabric with a laser, not that I have ever seen. So you do want to feed this through an inkjet printer. So in order to attach your fabric, there we go. All right, so we are going to swap back over, and I do apologize. I do not know what's up with my camera, but it has decided to die. So we will do this from the sewing machine camera. You know what? Actually, my ironing board camera may work a little bit better, because then I can set things down and pick them up. So we are going to swap over there. All right. So, and it looks like I've got a lot more light over here than I did over there. So that camera may have just died. All right, so what they did is they, in order to attach your fabric to your freezer paper, you will lay the back side of your fabric. So this is the right side that you're looking at with the design on it. You will put the back side of your fabric to the shiny side. That is the waxy side. That's the side that will hold on to your fabric. So you will press it to there and make sure you cut your piece out to like 8.5 by 11 or whatever your printer can handle, and then you can print it out. If you do not have a printer and you are wanting to do this without doing the inkjet printer and all of that, go ahead and take a printout of whatever design you want to do. I mean, this design could be off of another piece of fabric. It could be you're coloring in another piece of fabric that's already got a design on it. You could also take a coloring sheet out of a kid's coloring book, and you want to draw on the fabric. And there are a brand of pens called Micron, and I did put all this in the description below the video, so you guys will have the list so you can refer back to it. So you can take and trace your design onto your fabric with a Micron pen. The reason I say do it with a Micron pen is if you want those black lines to show up when you're done, you want it to be on there permanently, a Micron pen will do the trick. If you are wanting the lines to disappear with heat, then you could use any other kind of pen, or you could use a pencil and just color over it. But if you want those lines to show up, you will want to do it with a Micron. So for example, if I did not have the lines colored in, if like the lines did not get printed properly on this, my grass would be gone. I would lose some of the detail on the VW bug. I mean, so it's up to you what kind of look you are going for. But if you do not have the lines on there with like a Micron pen or whatever, just be prepared that they may disappear when you're coloring. So you will need that. Okay, so you can pre-prep your design, or you can just have everything ready and follow along. I don't know which way Donnell is going to do. I don't know if she's going to pre-prep everything, but she will be coloring as well. I have no idea what design she's doing, so that's also going to be a surprise. So you will need those supplies. Okay, that's just to get everything going. Once you do all of that, the other supply that you will need is Crayola brand crayons. Now this is a pack of 24. You can definitely get much larger packs. You can raid the kids stash. Just make sure that they are a Crayola brand and that they are not listed as washable. If they are washable, the wax is not the same consistency and it does not work. So you do need the non-washable standard Crayola crayons. And you do want to make sure that your box has white in it. So my box does have a white. I believe this is actually, oh, no, it looks like a couple of my crayons have been used. Yep, so I have used my white a little bit already on this box. So you do want to make sure that you have a white. It is necessary if you want your colors to really just be there and pop, okay? So you need Crayola crayons, Crayola brand, not washable. You will need your fabric and whatever design that you're going to use. And if you're going to draw it on there with a pen, if you want the lines to show up, make sure it is a Micron pen. Micron pen, the name of the Micron pen is in the description box. And you will need freezer paper, whether you get the prepackaged designed for quilting or designed for printing, that's fine. Or you use the roll, that's fine as well. Either way, that's just what I have available to me. And you will also need paper towels. Do not forget the paper towels. So when we get to pressing everything, you will need the paper towels. You will also need an iron. Okay, I'm really sounding southern now. You will need an iron, and you will need an ironing board. So those will be necessary in order to do the coloring next week. So it is already 10 till 5 here. Does anybody have any questions that I can go ahead and answer now? You can always comment on anything on the video after it's posted as well. Where did I find the Volkswagen? A group of ladies brought it and just kind of left it on the table, and it was an option. I do not know. I will ask around and see if anybody knows where the Volkswagen came from. I know another lady and I both were coloring on the VW. So I don't know if it came from a coloring book or where they got that design, but I will check. Because that is definitely a cute design. If I am allowed to, if copyright laws allow me to, I will definitely post a link to it. That's right, Kennedy, you can. It's Kennedy says, I'm not sure where she got it, but you can Google coloring pages. You absolutely can. And I can't always share everything because of the copyright laws, but if you look it up yourself, you're allowed to do that. Can you use a fabric that you can buy to print on instead of the freezer paper? I haven't tried it. I'm assuming that you probably could, but the reason that you need that freezer paper comes in when you are doing the coloring. So it would need to be on freezer paper either way. If it is not pressed to freezer paper to stabilize it, then I'm not sure if it's going to be strong enough. You can always try it though. So as Kennedy says, you could use that, but you don't need to. Kennedy has done quite a few of these coloring projects too. So that's why she's able to chime in with a little bit more know-how. I haven't tried that fabric. But it is definitely more expensive that way. That's true. Pinterest does have a bunch of coloring pages. And you could actually do an entire quilt with this. I have not tried sending mine through the wash. So I do recommend it for like wall hangings or things that you aren't expecting to wash, because some of those chemicals and solvents that you would use, like for stain removal and things like that, they are designed to get crayon out. Now, although these are not washable crayons that you're using, it's definitely not advisable to wash one of these finished pieces, just because you don't want to ruin all your hard work. Awesome. I am so sorry I'm still stuffy, you guys. I do apologize. I am still fighting the humidity dump that came through, and then we had massive wind. We actually had an airplane at the airport here get flipped over by a wind gust yesterday. So nobody was injured. I mean, well, they might have been slightly shaken up, but nobody was hurt or needed hospital from my understanding. Ooh, fabric paint pens. I haven't tried those in a really long time. I have a quilt where I did some fabric painting, but I haven't tried it yet. Yes, you were right, Glenda. 6 minutes and the party starts. All right, so I'm going to put a couple of links in here for you guys. Let me get over to where I can. So first link is for the Facebook group. If you are not in the Facebook group for my subscribers, you do not have to pay. You do not have to do anything other than click the link and come join me at Facebook. And that is a private group where you can post pictures of your projects. Any point of progress that you're at, whether you are just beginning and you're frustrated, whether you need help, whether you're completely done and you just want to show off to people that will understand, absolutely. And if it is a gift and you can't have everybody else seeing it, perfect place to share it because I've got one of my own going on, and it is a private group, so nobody outside the group can see those projects. The other one is to the party. So that is going to take you over to Shannon's party. It would work just fine to use the fabric paper. Awesome. Yay. It's Kennedy gave us the answers. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So that link right there is going to take you over to the party. If for any reason I've already ended this video and you need another link to it, it is in the description box. Before you go to Shannon's, please, 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 please help me out. Help me out. If you're not subscribed, and I think you have to be subscribed to chat. Don't quote me on that, but I think you have to be. But if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button so that you can chat, so that you can come hang out with us, so that you get the notifications. If you are not getting the notifications, just click that little bell. That way it notifies you of any time I go live. I am doing some impromptu lives. They could be any day of the week, any hour of the day. So, it's not always going to be on a Saturday. It might be I might do one tomorrow night. I don't know. I might do one Thursday night. My husband's going to be out of the house, so I don't know when I'm going to do them, but I may do some more impromptu lives, and those are going to be called Get Stuff Done. And that way you can also get notified to come here on Tuesday nights. So please click the subscribe, click the like before you leave. That way YouTube knows that you guys enjoyed your time here. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Let's head over to Shannon's. You guys have a great night. I'll see you.